This video is going to look at the DUCTWORK program. So here's the front interface mechanical tab with the project named into the ducting icon. And the first thing we get when we come into the ducting program is the general information. We can then decide whether we're looking at supply and extract. Notice the latest duct database with a whole range of shape choices in. You can browse and select a different database if you wish. We can enter our supply temperature. We can look at our percentage leakage rate as a percentage of the DW144. So currently, in real terms, we're looking at 5% leakage. So if we put 50% in here, we're looking at 2.5% of the DW144. The rest of the information here, hours on in year, fan running, cost efficiency, etc., those all find their way into the energy consumption and costing calculations. Next thing we can do is apply duct groups. You can actually import duct groups as well. Basically, duct groups are there so you can refine how the program selects the ducted system. So you can have, for example, flexible connections to grills served by circular ductwork with main runs in rectangular. You can stipulate the runs of duct and their duct group. The program will then calculate using the appropriate shape choice, velocities, depth selections that you make. You can import from other projects as well. So all I need to do is browse to select another project. And then we can import all of the duct groups that we wish to use. We can then set the default, so setting the mains as the default. It's always best to set the larger duct sizes as your default. Don't set things like flexibles, because when you run your calculation your whole job will be grossly oversized in flexible. So be pragmatic when selecting your preferred duct group. Then we can decide on the selection basis for the calculation for the next system we're going to enter. What I'm going to show you first of all is how to enter an extract system from the toilet area. So our basis selection will be based on air changes, to which I enter 6 air changes an hour. We can specify a positive or a negative pressure system if they're balanced, stick in 100%. If the extract was somewhat larger, i.e. 10%, then if you enter 110%, the program will adjust the extract to be 10% higher than the supply. You can set up default grill sizes if you wish. I'm only doing grill sizes in the toilet extract, so I'll make these 150, and you can put in a pressure drop across the grill as well. Moving into the area of interest, I'm on the ground floor, and what I'm going to do is run upstairs via the services shaft to an air handling unit, extract air handling unit on the roof. If we were coordinating with light fittings, display options would allow us to show any other services. So we could show piping, public health, lighting or electrics. There is no other lighting on this project, but you would actually tick this box and you would see light fittings appear so you can coordinate. We need to go to the insert menu and decide whether we're doing a supply or an extract system. I'm selecting extract. We then have two choices. We can add individual grills where the program will calculate the total flow rate to the room. We can then apply the flow rate we want to apply to the grill we are currently placing. The other option available to us is to equally balance the flow rate amongst the number of grills, i.e. multiple grills. That's the option I'm going to select. I'm going to put 4 extract grills in this space. Selecting multiple grills, you can see the program then asks me to select a room. I select the room and that gives me the total flow rate to the space, and I'm going to apply 4 grills, setting those as equal and then placing them with one click in the appropriate ceiling tile. There is a display option setting so that the grill sits in the centre of the tile. Moving on to the next room, selecting the next room space, multiple grills, same situation as before. This time I'll select 3 grills. Now I can start routing my ductwork and establish a run from my furthest grill upstairs to the plant room on the roof. I can then insert ducts. If I want to have a final connection onto the grill as a flexible, what I can do is click once on the grill and then a quick double click will break the duct connection, so I can specify that I'm going to have a final connection to the grill, perhaps fed by a circular connection. All I then need to do is click once again to pick up that connection. The program picks this up and asks us whether we're going towards the load. We're not, we're going back to the entry point, so we select no here, so the program knows which way the air is flowing. We can then route our ductwork and establish a duct run. One click for each change of direction, one click to decide where I want to rise up in the services shaft. Level up, move 2 takes me to the floor above. Level up, move 2 again, and so on and so forth up through your building until you get out onto the roof space. I'm currently at floor level. I might want to set that duct at a different height. I could do so if I wish to, and then I can run my system up to my extract with an exit point. And select OK. I can then level down to the appropriate floor again. Then what I can do is connect these grills into the system. Insert ducts, select the grill, double click to connect in, select the grill, double click. I'm now in a position to calculate a system. Bearing in mind the database I've used has a whole range of different shapes and sizes, the program will make a first stab attempt at performing the calculation. Display calculate, and you can see here, for example, it's taken square ductwork 150 by 100 to the finals, and we've got 250 by 150 as our mains. I can now refine this selection process by double clicking on the piece of duct and applying the duct group. So here you can see a range of duct groups. If I select WC extract, select OK, calculate, that's now given me a diameter because the duct group is specifying a circular duct. So I select each of these to reflect the shape of duct that I want to use. In future versions we're going to be able to use the control key, so you can select the control key, select all of your selections of ductwork and do this once instead of having to do each individual piece of duct. Display calculate. Based on the reduction in grills with a slightly higher flow rate, you can see these are coming out at 100 mm diameter. Again, if I wanted to change the final connection onto the grill, I can double click on this piece of duct, decide that that's going to be flexible, and that the preceding duct is going to be set up as extract. Calculate. Notice the size isn't displayed until you zoom in sufficiently so that the fixed size text will then display it. If I go to display options, show fixed size text, we can now view. Due to the higher resistance of the flexible, you can see this is giving us a slightly larger size. So if I wish, I can force the issue by either fixing the preceding duct to 100 mm, by fixing the duct, calculate. I can then go to display options, into ductwork, and show two-line ductwork. That shows you better representation of your duct layout. I can inspect the results in various sections of duct by using the display ribbon and selecting results, and I can inspect the velocity in each section of duct. This command remains active all the time. Pressing escape will cancel it so that you can get on and do something else. Pressing escape. Fan duty can be determined from the summary serving that particular system. Schedules can also be determined for our outlets with our balancing pressure requirements. So if we are going to start putting in duct fittings and volume control dampers, you can absorb these pressures to these grills. Duct schedule. And any dampers you may have inserted. To insert duct fittings, you go to the Insert menu, and on the Edit tabs here we can see we've got the fittings, so I can then apply a volume control damper, insert the damper and select the damper position on the grill, where I can then enter a resistance, and that employs the use of a damper. There are other fittings that can be entered. If this is a fire rated partition, for example, fire damper can be applied. You can insert the fire damper, select it, and again apply resistance.